is boring.
Welcome, my fine friends, to the city of Winter Garden, Florida, a western suburb of Orlando that has pivoted from a citrus-packing, blue-collar town to a tourist-pleasing, shopper-attracting, dining mecca of all things hip and swell in Central Florida. Over the past 100 years or so, this town has really seen it all, and today you're going to see, well, some. We're going to introduce you to a shrine dedicated to that favorite method of conveyance of the discerning hobo, the train. We're going to sneak a peek at a historic haunted hotel. We'll bask in the resplendent spectacle of a pumpkin the size of a Toyota, and we'll whisper tales of one of Orlando's most controversial crimes right into your ears. So kick off your shoes, grab yourself something to toss into your favorite mouthhole, and join us today as we do just a little exploring. For 12 years now, I've talked about hitting up downtown Winter Garden, but today, in a shocking twist, I seem to have actually done it. A mere 40 minutes from home sweet home, this place is Florida's worst-kept secret. It's a mecca for foodies, shopaholics, and those desperately trying to prove that not all of us in Florida are crazy hillbillies. Today, my son and I stumbled onto the chaos of a family-fun Halloween festival and the yearly Oktoberfest. Who says procrastination doesn't pay off? Downtown Winter Garden during Halloween, where the town's attempt at spooky decor makes you wonder if Tim Burton may have just thrown up all over Main Street. Giant spiders on ropes attempting Cirque du Soleil acrobatics, and skeletons striking poses like they're auditioning for a Broadway production of Night of the Living Fabulous. It's a festival of fright that manages to be both endearing and a little over the top. Like a horror movie directed by a caffeinated Disney character. G to PG-13 scares, pretty much all wrapped up in a Florida Halloween package. The Oktoberfest revelries, while more contained to one particular popular cross street, were a bit more uniform in their adult-focused theme. If you haven't been to an Oktoberfest celebration before, all you really need to know is that there's beer. There's lots and lots of beer and sausage. There's sausage. There's lots of sausage. And apparently there's also a shocking number of white people who not only own lederhosen, but who also feel pretty comfortable walking around in public with them. Oh, and that music? Let's just see that the tuba, it's all about that bass, and we'll have you out in the aisle shaking your moneymaker. Our journey begins the farthest east quarter of Plant Street, Winter Garden's lifeline, and what's our welcoming committee? It's a fiberglass cow, because I'm assuming that it's either a nod to Winter Garden's agricultural roots or just a statement about their undying love for milk. Either way, you do you, Winter Garden. I gotta say, Winter Garden, you might have a thing for fiberglass cows, but when it comes to food, you are on a whole nother level. Let's take a second to talk about the culinary circus that's going on inside. It's a foodie's dreamland. It's a place where taste buds go on a naughty little adventure in a party room where culinary courage is celebrated. From fresh sushi to barbecue, mini donuts for instant gratification, oven-fired pizza for the more patient souls, and everything in between.
And while there are so very many places I'd love to try, at the end of the day, I am by nature a barbecue snob, so I think we're going to try this little piggy went to Plant Street Market. Just ordered the full rib sampler with the tangy sauce. They've got 4 different sauces. Waiting right now for it to come up. As you can see, it's very, very popular, for lack of a better word here. Waited about 15 minutes in line. Got a good smell of smoke going for it. Kind of hard to tell for sure, but I want to say hickory and maybe a little bit of apple. Guess we'll find out in a minute, though. All right, about 10 minutes after we ordered, the food came up. This is what we're looking at right here. This is the 4-rib sampler with the tangy sauce. As you can see, they are not the biggest bones, but let's see if they're good. This is the tangy sauce. You can tell it's homemade, a lot of chunks in there. Some vinegar, tomato, obviously. Doesn't smell like there's a whole lot of sugar, which is good. We're just going to drizzle them a little bit. I'm one of those people that likes the smoke flavor and the rub to come through. The sauce is just a little bit of a accoutrement. Moment of truth.
So anyway, the price is cheap. Big old tire. And he's kept that thing in food too.
Okay. Good smoke flavor. Not much on the rub. Sauce is actually more sweet than I thought it was going to be. I wouldn't really call it tangy so much. More sweet. It's not bad. Had much better. Combined with the size of this, the value, I'd say we're at probably a C. A good solid C. 70%. Still going to eat them, of course. So it's worth mentioning that that is, in fact, real barbecue. It's not just sauce slapped on some grilled meat. It is definitely smoked. You can tell the smoke flavor. I may have been wrong about hickory. It didn't have the hickory bite to it. It may have been oak. Can't quite tell. It's good smoke flavor, but all in all, like I said, I'd give it about a C. The ribs were tender. They pulled away from the bone, but they weren't spongy or fatty. They were very lean, which is good. And I guess that leaves us satisfied in full.
Here we are just outside the Plant Street Market, where the porch serves as a throne room for the various eateries and the ever-so-popular Crooked Can Brewery, which resides just inside. Oktoberfest was in full swing. Picture this. Beer, lederhosen, sausage, beer, music, beer. It's a scene that can make any German tourist do a double take and ask, is this a quirky tribute or a cry for help? Now, sure, I've witnessed more authentic German festivals, but Winter Garden's Oktoberfest has a charm all of its own. It's like the distant cousin who shows up to a family gathering wearing obscene spray-painted t-shirts they bought in Gatlinburg back in 1987. The porch, the brewery, the music, it's a symphony of chaos, and I'll give them credit. They've managed to turn Oktoberfest into a Floridian fiesta with a side of kitsch. So raise those oversized beer steins, Winter Garden. Prost!
That's German for Merry Christmas.
I want you to picture your average city hall, a place where excitement goes to wither and paperwork reigns supreme. It's the spot where you register your complaints about the garbage man puking in your daisies, or where you reluctantly tie the knot when planning a wedding becomes as appealing as a root canal, and oh gosh darn it, you just want to make grandma cry. Well, enter Winter Garden, breaking all the bureaucratic stereotypes. Say farewell to the thrilling world of marble columns and stalled lions. Winter Garden City Hall has redefined glamour with a touch of the macabre. No more dealing with the riveting topics of wedding planning or complaints about Mr. Smith's unruly garden nose. Oh, no, you're not just filling out paperwork, you're embarking on a hay maze adventure that makes navigating the city's zoning regulations seem like child's play. Let's throw a little confetti for the West Orange Trail, shall we? Slicing through Winter Garden like a fitness influencer slicing through a protein shake. Over 30 miles of trails coming off of it, turning a simple bike ride into a Floridian odyssey. Encounter nature spots, picnic havens, restrooms for those who can't endure the wild without some modern amenities. Enjoy scenic views of rivers, lakes, and bikers on wheels more valuable than my monthly grocery budget. Pedal cautiously though, Winter Garden. as you'll find every bit of nature is as beautiful as a memory in the making, and most likely plotting your demise. Rather unexpectedly, I seem to have tripped over this rather ambitious farmer's market. It's got kettle corn that's so fresh it practically jumps into your mouth, produce that I'll pretend to inspect while mentally planning my escape, and folks peddling local honey like it's the elixir of immortality. I didn't know if you knew this, but apparently in Florida, local honey isn't just a sweet treat. It's the key to magical hair regrowth. You rub a little in your eye and voila, a full head of luscious locks that even Interview with a Vampire Brad Pitt would cover. Look at this freaking large gourd. It's not just a vegetable, it's a veggie with delusions of grandeur, the size of a freaking Miata and an ego to match. This gourd is so massive it makes other vegetables question their manhood. And forget practicality. Winter Garden proudly presents this gourd that's practically its own zip code. It's not even a centerpiece, it's a statement. And I, for one, welcome our new veggie overlords. Just behind Plant Street lies the Central Florida Railroad Museum. It's an homage to the beloved mode of transportation of the great American hobo, the train. Now, this museum unfolds the tale of Central Florida's railroading history through a mishmash of exhibits. It's got photos, maps, charts, and enough artifacts to make your head spin faster than a runaway locomotive. As someone warming up to the charm of the railway in small towns, exploring this compact powerhouse was truly a delight. This museum even boasts a Lego train exhibit, sprinkled with a dozen or so little, let's call them Easter eggs, because nothing says historical reverence like a Lego locomotive. Lego locomotive. Yeah, that's the word.
I'm not drunk.
Gather round, me fine friends, as we embark on a journey through Winter Garden, a place that believes it struck gold in the small-town charm department right there on Plant Street. And what is in the limelight, you ask? Why, a vintage theater, proudly displaying a marquee that practically whispers, "I've seen things, man." In 1935, the Garden Theater burst onto the scene, the OG of talkies in Central Florida. Mediterranean revival glam with Romeo and Juliet balconies and a starry ceiling. Hollywood, eat your heart out. But the swinging 60s hit and the theater fancied a little bit of a facelift. Closed in 63, sloped floors got a cement makeover as the adjacent Pounce Motor Company picked up the property and turned it into an industrial wonderland of oil stains and exhaust. And fast forward to 2008, Winter Garden heroes, cape wearers figuratively, the Heritage Foundation and the benevolent Roper family revived the joint. Blood, sweat, tears, maybe. Voila, the Garden Theater's back, charming and edgy. It's the downtown comeback kid, a phoenix with popcorn, minus the feathers. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Winter Garden Heritage Museum, where history unfolds each day with a sprinkle of orange juice. Now, since 1998, this time capsule into the 1918 train depot opens daily, curated by volunteers with a rather uncanny grasp of time travel. Inside, you'll discover vintage pictures, citrus labels, and tales from pioneers who thought that Instagram was just a speedy telegram. Fancy a straight razor shave in a vintage barbershop with a classy red and white pole? Snip snap, anyone? Explore the theater wall for Winter Garden's Golden Age and enjoy a Kermit the Frog cameo. Hollywood, step aside. And That's not all, of course. War heroes, Hoyle Pound's rubber tractor tire brilliance, Lake Apopka's fishing tales, medical stories, local politician antics, Lakeview High's glory, and a citrus industry feast, all in one captivating tour. Uncover just how Winter Garden became today's trendsetter. Bad days can happen anywhere, of course. In '75, Winter Garden turned into a battleground when 30 bullets came raining down on Tommy Zeidwich's furniture store during a burglary. His wife and his in-laws didn't make it, but Tommy survived a gut shot. Now, he finds himself in the middle of a wild tale, accused of cooking up the deadly robbery himself. Now, the trial shuffled off to Jacksonville, where he bagged a death sentence for his wife's murder and life behind bars for the in-laws. But here's the kicker. Tommy's been singing the same tune since day one. I didn't do it. He swears it was a screw-up robbery gone wrong, one he had nothing to do with. On the flip side, the prosecutors paint a very different picture. They're spinning this yarn that Tommy pulled a fast one, shooting himself in the gut to frame others. Of course, there's more to the story. Eyewitness accounts started flipping and flopping, and then out of the blue in 2011, a dude named Robert Foster spills the beans about a failed gas station heist on the murder night. Now, this legal circus includes dodged executions, denied DNA tests, and even a stint on unsolved mysteries. Now, in 2022, the Florida Supreme Court pops up and says, sure, let's do some modern DNA testing. Well, here we are in the end of 2023, and maybe, just maybe, Tommy's crazy ride will finally hit a smoother stretch. Why not step right into the Timewarp that is the Edgewater Hotel, an ancient relic from the Roaring '20s, now modernized just enough to prevent a total collapse. Now, this joint time-traveled from 1927 straight into your Wi-Fi dependent hands, with a restoration so slick it's like time stood still, except for the climate control and the already mentioned Wi-Fi, of course. Now, brace yourself for vintage sinks and the original 1926 Otis elevator. It's a blast from the past with a dash of the paranormal to spice up your stay. At least that's what the locals are saying. But that's not all. It once hosted troops gearing up for World War II and then housed the listless souls who built the Magic Kingdom in the 1970s. Concerned about thrills? Well, forget those pricey theme parks, folks. Here you'll be too captivated by ancient sinks and the groans of the elevator to miss your roller coasters. For aficionados of history, and perhaps a little ghostly chit-chat, the Edgewater Hotel is your one-way ticket to the past, with perks, of course. Well, there you have it. Orlando's downtown neighbor, Winter Garden, a mix of history and hipness, all packaged neatly for your casual consumption. Winter Garden is the town that's witnessed the highs, the lows, and somehow manages to keep a straight face while preserving yesteryear's charm in the face of Orlando's rather bustling chaos. It's the quiet neighbor to the west, rolling its eyes at the flashy streets of its bigger sibling. Now, thanks again for tagging along on this riveting journey through downtown Winter Garden. Feel free to give those thumbs of yours worked out with a smattering of smacks on the like and the subscribe buttons. And more importantly, I hope you will join us again next time as we do just a little more exploring.